Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to my water fast. It's day 19, and today has been a fantastic day. I realised that for the last couple of days I've been in heavy detox, massive pains and all the rest of it. And I woke up this morning feeling completely different. And what a relief. I felt sort of, I wouldn't say energised, because I don't think you have a huge amount of energy after this period of time without taking any nutrition in. But I did feel energised and quite mentally clear. And it's such a difference to the other, I didn't actually know what was going on for the last few days. I was just terribly sort of angry, really. Been a nightmare to live for my poor partner, my wife. Just being ratty to her and didn't understand what was. I don't know. It's just horrible, and it's got to be detox, and that makes me think that I'm just getting into the real stuff now, and it's disappointing to think I've got to stop it, soon. Only a couple more days left. But I think it's right at the moment, because I'm not in a comfortable place. What I'd like to do, if I had the opportunity, would be at this stage would be to go to a fasting retreat right now. Just hop a plane, and which is easier said than done. But I only say easier said than done because it would be sometimes useful to live next to a major airport like Heathrow or something, where you could literally just, okay, I'm off and go over there. But it's the journey up to Heathrow and all the messing about is probably as stressful as the rest of the journey. So and that would be great, and actually go in for the last, and then I would extend my fast, and I'd probably try to take it another 2 weeks, because I feel the real benefits. But I'm not comfortable to do it on my own at this present time. At this fast, I'm not comfortable. I don't know. I've had a few issues going on. One is my heart rate always seems to be like a bit iffy at the moment, and that could be thyroid issues with tapering off thyroid medication very quickly, and it won't have left my system yet. But however, it's not leaving me the feeling of exhaustion like I had before when I was diagnosed with that issue. That does make me question whether I actually got a thyroid issue at all. The TSH levels were wrong, but I think we'll give it a try. I think when we come off this, I'm not automatically going to start glugging down medications. I don't want to take medications. Medications are evil, they're poisonous, and they just, they cause so much pain and grief in the world. No medication is good, whatever condition you've got. Unless it's something that's keeping you alive, whatever, some massive pain relief. Medication for mental issues or depression or all that, they don't work. People would argue that. People that argue, but they don't work. They cannot work. It's due to issues in the brain. Get out and exercise, do something else, and people say, oh, can't do this, can't do that. But there's other ways of dealing with it than always just relying on a doctor, just going and handing our control over to a doctor and saying, I want to stay out. I think where doctors are brilliant is if you've got serious trauma, like if you have a major road accident, something like that. Not necessarily a doctor, but the people who work in the hospitals and who can put you back together again. And work absolute miracles. But where doctors are not good at is just general mental illness, because the majority of them are indulging in exactly the same lifestyle as everybody else. They want to go and have their Sunday roast half the time, and they eat appallingly a lot of the time, high fat food, so they're not doing it, so why would they want to advocate that that's a good thing to do? Of course they won't. They don't know it. They have 2 weeks nutritional training, medical in when you're studying medicine, I believe you have 2 or 3 weeks on nutrition out of 5 or 6 years in medical school, and I'm sure that's just brushed over. Probably not now so much. I'm sure they're going to take it more seriously, but there's lots to be done. Anyway, besides that, it's good. I went out today. First time on my bike. I didn't go at all last week. I didn't really have the energy, although I did do a lot of stuff last week, but not cycling. And today was a lovely day. It's gone a bit funny now, but it was lovely earlier. It was a sunny, beautiful morning, and I went trail riding because I'm not up to doing hills and not really steep hills anyway. And I went on the camel trail, which I'm sure some of you will know, and started at Bodmin. And I thought I'll just go up to Wenford Bridge, which is probably about 15 mile round trip. Very easy going, very beautiful. It's just through woods and lovely place. Just old railway tracks, so it's very flat and easy. And then when I was heading back towards Bodmin, you could do a left back up to Bodmin, or you can do a right, and you could go all the way to Padstow. However, I chose just to go to Wadebridge, where I stopped and had some water. That's what we do when we're water fasting. Very tasty. It's not tasty at all. It's absolutely horrible at the moment. I hate water. It's so metallic. Oh, I hate water. I'm so looking forward to something else. I'm sure distilled water would be better, but I'm just drinking mineral water. Anyway, or spring water, not mineral water. And so my ride turned into a 26-mile ride, which was I found it quite easy, obviously my speeds are down, my legs feel a bit sort of lethargic, but I loved it. It was really nice, and I felt comfortable. And I realised today why I feel comfortable on the bike. It just felt so comfortable, and it's probably because my body mass has decreased, and probably the top part of my torso. I don't weigh, so how do I know? But I know I'm a lot less, and that means that sitting on my saddle is going to be a lot less pressure, right into the crutch there, where you know what I mean. So where the saddle goes, and if there's less weight on there, there's less pressure, and it felt really comfortable today. And I'm optimistic, even though I'm going to end this fast in a couple of days. I'm really optimistic, and I'm been looking around trying to get good sources of greens, and fruit isn't too much of a problem really. So, in fact, I mentioned yesterday I've got melons already, so watermelons. I'm not hungry. I realised that today. I'm not hungry. There's a difference between being hungry and craving, and most of the stuff that goes on in my head is craving. I don't know if the cravings are so bad because I'm detoxing, and if all this fat that's on my body, if all this fat is being metabolized and turned into whatever it is, ketones and stuff for the brain to run on, and for everything else to run on, that's going to leave toxic shit in the system, isn't it? Real toxic shit, because that's what the body puts out. When it stores fat, it also stores with it all the toxins, and I'm led to believe that it also pushes more toxins in there when it doesn't know what to do with. So it's very important to lose excess fat, and I know I've got to continue to do so. Fasting isn't the way to do that. It's long-term healthy eating, but I've got to be so careful to start with. Yeah. So it's a bit of a challenge, because having done a 28-day fast before, I know that actually the cravings really start when you start eating. They're not there now, and maybe that's one of the points why it's easier to stay fasting. It's when you start to eat that you start to get hungry. So I'm trying to make some new rules for myself, which is always to eat being mindful of that I'm eating food. So rather than doing other things while I eat, which happens all over the world. Well, it happens all over the world. It happens all over this country. And I remember when I was in business and just living such a hectic life, that seeing all my colleagues, you know, and at lunchtime they sort of grab sandwiches and they're like shoving them into their mouth, and they're sort of thinking about other stuff. They have no idea. It's just like they're not being mindful about that food. They probably won't even remember what they've eaten, you know. And so for me, it's going to be, when I eat my food, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to take real time and care over what I eat, and I'm going to relish each mouthful, and I'm sure it's going to taste fantastic, because I'm not going to overeat. When you overeat, you don't actually enjoy your food. Your food just becomes something that you're pushing into your mouth. You do not taste food the same way when you're overeating. It's a bit like drinking a fine, you know, if you have a glass of wine, a really beautiful glass of wine, and you sip it and you have it with nice food and all the rest of it, the flavours and the aroma are fantastic. But if you start to drink, it could be anything, you know. Those flavours dissipate. Oh, I can't say the word. You know, they disappear, and you could be drinking anything. It's the same with eating. So yeah, definitely no watching telly while eating. That is such a bad one to do. You know, the amount of time that I've sat in front of the telly watching absolute crap, and just not even looking at my plate, just shoving stuff into the old mouth. No more. That's got to go. So there's got to be some strict rules here. You know, it's got to be either social, or if I'm on my own, which I can be during the day sometimes, and if not, you know, I'll sit with my partner and we'll maybe talk about what we're eating and enjoy it together. But watching fucking telly watching telly when you're eating is probably one of the worst things that we all do, and it's mindless. It's just mindless. So, and also trying to eat too late at night is not a good idea. So, got to try and cut that as well. You know, try and eat, and you know, when you stuff your face late at night, as I did, you don't really get into a fasting. You know how they call breakfast is break the fast in the morning, and you want your body to go into a sort of fast situation over the night, because then it can cleanse better. You know, once you get used to it, you can sleep better, and your body will be helping to generate energy for the next day. And when you wake up, you probably will feel truly that you could have a little something to eat, whether you choose to at that point, or whether you go and do your exercise, you know, and just running is slightly more fine-tuned. I'll let you know how this goes. I'm going to try and document some of this, because this is probably far more interesting than watching videos of me fasting, going, oh god, it's so hard, oh shit, you know, I feel miserable, blah 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 blah. So yeah, so good day today, day 19, brilliant day. Can't think of anything that was bad about it. Lovely ride, just enjoyed my cycling so much. Didn't even care that I didn't have much energy. Didn't care. It was, you know, there was a few people out the trail, and you know, there's still not many people that would be going the speed that I want to go, even when I'm totally knackered. So, and I've just had a lovely shower. I don't know what time is it now? It's just after 4 in the afternoon. I've had a lovely shower, and I've put my PJs on because I want to relax now. So I'm in my PJs, which is really nice. Yeah, everything's good. I feel happy, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow. And tomorrow is going to try and be a rest day. I believe we've got appalling weather, so I'm going to try and have a restful day, do some reading, try and stay off that bloody computer, because that's another shit thing to do. Yeah, just sit on the computer and watch crap videos of people being doing ridiculous things. Just all shit. You know, maybe read something good. Yeah. brilliant. Thank you so much for watching. And I look forward to seeing you next time, and stay positive, and if you're fasting, it's up and down. Bye for now.